Hi, I'm certainly glad you could join me today. You ready to do another fantastic painting with me? Good. Get your paints out and a big glass of iced tea and let's do it. Let's start off and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint this painting with me. And they'll come across as usual in the same order as I have them on the palette. So, I've done something a little different today. Let's go up here and talk about it. Today I've covered the old canvas. Well, maybe we can call this liquid gray. I've taken liquid black and liquid white in about equal proportions and just covered the outside of it with this gray color and then a little liquid white in the center and blend it together. I'm going to have a lot of dark, I think, today in this painting. So by putting this gray color on here, it already gives you some of your dark values, makes your painting life a whole lot easier. So let's take off and have some fun. To start today with a tiniest little touch of yellow ochre. Tiniest little amount. Okay, let's go right up here. Now maybe up in here, I'm just going to lay in a little bit of yellow, just here and there. I don't want much color. I want to have a little bright spot up here in the sky where the light's coming through, and that's what this will end up being. So that's about all we need, just the tiniest little touch of color. And it mixes with the liquid white or liquid gray, whatever we want to call it. You can mix your own at home, no big problem. Take a little black and white, about equal proportions. There. Okay. Now we'll take a little black, a little touch of the phthalo blue. Just sort of mix them together on the brush here. More black than blue. Okay. Then let's go right up in here and just begin putting in a little bit of color here and let it work down toward that light spot. Much, much more black than blue. So it's sort of really, it really should be a blue-gray color here is what I'm looking for. But in your world, sort of look around and see if that's the color you want. If not, change it. Change it. There. Still using little crisscross strokes, just little X's. When I was in school, a teacher used to grade my paper this way. I think I've mentioned that in other series. Boy, she just run right over it and make X's everywhere. We'll get the least little touch of alizarin crimson. Just the least little touch. And we're still mixing all this on the brush. Just let it sort of mix together and make a happy little lavender color. Tiniest little touch of crimson. There's not much color on here. There. Okay. Okay, now I've got several brushes going here. So let me get a nice clean one, and I'm going to take and begin blending this a little bit. I'm still using little tiny crisscross strokes just to feather the edges out and bring it all together. Start in the light area and work outward. Work outward from the light area, because you don't want to pull that dark color down into your light. You'll lose it all. It'll go right away and leave you. Right away and leave you. Now you can pick up a little of that dark and see, and just tap it back in and make all kinds of little things happening in here. There. This is one of the easiest, nicest ways to make a super, super effective sky. Super effective sky. I know we're never interested in that happy buck, but if you're selling paintings, this kind of sky will really sell. People love them. They absolutely love them. Okay. All right, we can wash that brush out. And we wash our brushes with odorless thinner. Shake them off. Just beat the devil out of them. All right, let's make some little background trees here. Take a little bit of black, little dark sienna, little Van Dyke. Mostly the browns though. Black, little touch of blue in there too, what the heck. Okay, just tap the brush. Now then, you have to make a big decision here. Where some little background trees live. I'm using just the corner of the brush and tapping downward. Hope you can see that. Just tap downward. Start at the bottom and work upward. See, we want to make some some little basic tree shapes far back in the distance here. Just very basic little shapes. There. We're not looking for a lot of detail. Just very basic little shapes. Tell you what, let's have some water into here. Just put a little phthalo blue on the brush, and you can come right into here. Look at there. That easy. That easy. We'll put in a little bit of water. A little more of the phthalo blue. Shoot, maybe the water is going to be, I don't know where it's going to be exactly. If we're going to have water, we'll just put it where we want it. There. Maybe a little over in here. Okay. That's just a little phthalo blue right on my old dirty brush. So all the colors have mixed together. And you sort of have a bluish gray. Very nice color. Okay, and maybe, I'll tell you what, let's just reflect some of these trees right down. If that's going to be water, we'll just reflect some right down in here, like so. Now with our 2-inch brush, grab it and just pull downward. Pull straight downward, like so. There we go. Pull it down, straight down, and go lightly across. And we have instant reflections. Okay. Shoot, that's going so good. Let's have some more fun here. Same old dirty brush. I'm lazy today. I don't want to clean brushes. I'm going to take a little touch of phthalo blue, a little alizarin crimson, a little white into it. Make a nice lavender, sort of to the reddish side though. Like so. Let's go right up here. Now maybe there's a little light playing right out here on some of these little bushes. Like so. I'm going to add the least little touch of the liquid white here. I want it to be a little bit thinner so it'll stick easier. Oh, that's nice. If your paint won't stick, add a little touch of the liquid white or a little bit of paint thinner. Doesn't take much though. Sure doesn't take much. Just where you think light would strike these little bushes. There's another one right there. That's a pretty one. Wherever you want them. There's one. And this old big one here, we don't want him left out. But that easy. Just using a big old 2-inch brush. Now you can use your 1-inch brush. 1-inch brush works very nice for this too. But you can use 1-inch, 2-inch, whatever. Let's take a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Pull it out flat, cut across, get our little roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. We'll come right underneath here and very firmly, let's just put in the indication of a little bit of land under here. This is going to be far away, so I'm not too worried about a lot of detail. Boy, these are some nice woods back here. This is where the little bunny rabbit lives back here, and the squirrel, all them little fellers. I like all those little creatures. They're my friends. Okay, tell you what, we can go right into some brown, Van Dyke brown, some black, dark sienna, load a lot of paint in the brush. And maybe over here live some trees. Sure does now. And here all we're doing is tapping downward, same way. And this is where you have to start making some big decisions. Where does all your little trees live? Maybe right down through here. I don't know. Wherever you want them. Comes right on out through here. There. A little more dark sienna. There we go. Now I'm going to start adding dark sienna and yellow ochre. I want it to get lighter and lighter as it works its way on up here. Maybe even here and there a little touch of alizarin crimson in there too. Crimson, yellow ochre, dark sienna. Now begin thinking about some nice big tree branches that are hanging out here. Where do you want them? Where do you want them? So alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, dark sienna. All these nice warm colors. Very warm, very pleasant. And then toward the base you want it to be darker, 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 darker. There we go. See, big old limbs hanging out. Now we go back to some black and brown, sap green, little sap green in there too. Shoot, let's just have this come. Let's do them right over here. What the heck? Wherever you want it. Well, we just going crazy here. In fact, we can just fill all that up with color. I think that'd be pretty right in there. But you see how easy it is to lay in a tremendous amount of color very easily when you're using a big brush. All you got to do is just sort of drop it in wherever you think it should be. That's where it ought to be. The browns and the blacks, the greens, all those little colors. Tell you what, more of the browns and maybe, yep, here it comes. Yeah, there it is, see? They're right here. Let's have another tree. You can have as many or as few trees as you want in your world. All you do is just get an idea in your mind and drop it in. See, let's have a bigger one here. It comes right on up, and it lives up here in the sky. Like so. Do you ever think you could paint a picture that fast? You can. You really can. Same old colors, black, brown, little sap green here and there. Shoot, if I'm not careful, I'm going to cover up the whole canvas. And that's all right. That's no biggie. You can still cover it all up and still go back and put all kinds of little watery things in there. It'd still work. You have to start making some decisions here. Where does your big old limbs live out here? I want a big tree over here, big tree. Tell you what, we said we was going to have water in here, so make a decision. Where does your water live? And start pulling it down. Wherever you want water, you just pull down and create reflection. See there? And you have instant water. Maybe there's a little peninsula right out here. I need a little more color there. Not quite enough color. See, there. And you pull that straight down. Okay, and then go across. That easy. You can make the most fantastic reflections. Okay, I'm going to take a touch of liquid white on my knife and cut across it. Back in here, I want to put just the indication of a little water line. Push that way back here. And you're literally just cutting right into the fabric. Okay, let me find an old fan brush here. There's one. Let's go into some Van Dyke Brown, a little dark sienna, what the heck. Okay, now then, let's put us a tree trunk here and there. Maybe there's a trunk that lives. Yes, there is. Right in that tree. And of course, this whole tree, he don't want to be left out. He needs a nice trunk to hold him up straight. Shoot, maybe that tree's so big it takes two. Who knows? Who knows? Let's go on the other side over here. Now over here in all this, there's got to be some trees happening in there. Some nice strong trunks to hold all that up. See there? Wherever you think they should be. And don't make them all just straight. They're not all going to end up being telephone poles. Trees grow every which way. And sometimes you can just see little parts of trees because the leaves have covered it up back in there. You can make little limbs, or probably an easier way to make limbs is put some paint thinner on the liner brush. And we want to mix a little brown here until it's absolutely like ink. It flows. It's very thin, very thin. Turn that brush, pull it to a nice sharp point. A lot of paint. And then you can go up in here and you can put all kinds of little limbs back in here. Just wherever you think they should be. All kinds of little details. This is where the squirrels are going to play. I call squirrels tree urchins. for lack of a better word. I think when I was a kid, I must have had every kind of pet imaginable. In one of the earlier series, I told a story about a pet snake I had that I kept for a long time. I lived in Florida, so I had access to a lot of creatures, but I had a pet snake. Man, he got out of the cage and was lost in the house for a long time. My mother got up and went to the bathroom one night, and he was in there and scared her. She still yells at me about that, and that's been 30 years. Okay, now then, let's get an old 2-inch brush here. Don't you tell her I told you that story about the snake, she'll get me. A little bit of yellow ochre, cad yellow, just mixed together. Shoot, you can grab a little of the Indian yellow. Just tap the brush firmly, see, tap it. Okay, maybe I'm gonna reach right up here and get a touch of the dark sienna too, like that. There. You can grab a little white and put in there. Nice color. Okay, let's go up to the canvas. Now then, begin deciding here where all these little leaves and tree branches live. And you just use the corner of the 2-inch brush, just the corner. Now, if you had trouble making it stick, add a little bit of paint thinner or the liquid white. Either one, it's up to you. The liquid white naturally will make it a little bit brighter. Paint thinner won't change the color. Least little touch though. There, maybe. See, let some of these come over. And think about shapes here. Don't just do this at random. Sort of think about individual shapes and all the little things. I'm going to add a little touch of bright red to that too. Shoot, sparkle these rascals up in here. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Like that. See? All kinds of little leaves living back in here. Well, this would be a nice place for a squirrel. There, wherever you want them. I like that reddish color. Put a little bit out in there too. There. And you can just go on and on and on. Make all kinds of pretty little things. Okay, and over here on this side, need some little, put a touch of the liquid white there. Maybe just a little more. I'll thin this paint down so it'll stick a little easier. So I add a small amount of liquid white. And you can do this with a 1-inch brush or a 2-inch brush. There we go. But once again, I can't say it enough. Look at form and shape on your tree. Don't just throw them in at random. You won't be happy with them if you do. Think about form. Think what makes that tree an individual. Put a little highlight right out here. Make him sparkle out here in the sun. Okay, maybe this old tree here, he needs some too. Just the corner of the brush, though. That's all you're using. Okay, there. Just layer after layer. See, it's unbelievable what you can do with a big brush. Think what you could do with a smaller one. Okay, add the least little touch, maybe of sap green here and there. And maybe down in here, shoot, maybe there's just all kind of little things happening down in here too. Still using only the corner of the brush. Only the corner, just wherever you think there should be some little sparklers here. Wherever, maybe let's go all the way over here. Maybe back in here. Let's paint in some woods. Some deep, dark areas. Deep areas. And here I've took a little of the midnight black and mixed it with yellow to make a very dark green. Leave a little of those dark edges in there. Don't kill all those. See there though? but still work in layers here. Always working in layers, and work down the hill here. Think about the lay of the land. There it comes. There it comes. Right on down. See there? Tell you what, let's get crazy today. If you had something like that, you'd need a little path so you could go from here to there. So let's go to there. We'll start at there. And let's just bring it right straight on across to here. Van Dyke brown, that's all I'm using here. Just Van Dyke brown. See there? Right on across. Now we can take some white, a little bit of dark sienna, and with that, let's just add the least little touch of some highlights here. Just make it stand out a little. Look at there. See? That easy. You can make a happy little path. You can. Look at that. That'd be a super place to go and fish and have fun. Okay, now then, back to our color, and we can come back in here and drop in a few little sparklers wherever we want them. There. Maybe there's a little peninsula right out here, like that. Like so. And see, all kinds of little things. Just using the corner of the brush here. That's all you have to do. A little green. This is such a nice, easy way to paint, and it works so well. I think you'll really enjoy it. And you can do entire paintings using only this brush, just a little 2-inch brush. See. Work on the lay of the land, though. Have it coming down the hill here, like so. Okay. Let's put a little bit of ground area right under this. Make a little peninsula. Water goes in 2 or 3 places. We don't know where all it goes here. Comes right on down. Little touch of highlight on that. Like that. A little bit out here. See there? And you put just a happy little water line in there. Just sort of cleans up the edges, brings it all together. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. I'm going to dip my brush right into a little touch of the liquid white. Go into some yellow. Mostly white though, a little bit of yellow here. Let's come right out in here. Let's get brave. And boom. Just going to throw in some sparklers here. Just drop them in. As I say, here we're going to check you for bravery. And now we have to have something for that to sit on. What's causing that? Well, this is what's causing it. I want a big old tree. And I want those leaves, those limbs that are bright and shiny to be on the other side. So you put those in first and put the trunk over it. Then back to our liner brush with a nice thin paint on it. Then we can put in just an indication here and there of some big old limbs. Because we got to have something to hold all that up. There. That's something. You can do it. Okay, now then. Let's come on back here. I'm going to use yellow ochre, cad yellow ochre, and I'm going to go down here and get a little bit of bright red. Reach up here, get some white. A lot of color on the brush. Now then, let's put some leaves on this big old tree. They got to be a little bit lighter so they stand out. Okay. A lot of good colors here. Back to that bright red, like that. Whew. Okay, now. Let's bring these right on around. Let them come right on in front of the tree. See, you want some nice leaves in the front of the tree here too. Don't want them all behind. I like these kind of paintings. They're very soft, and they're sort of different than a lot of the paintings that we've been doing in the past. There. See, just let them rascals float around, and maybe there's a couple back in here. We don't know exactly where all the limbs are. There. Okay, and we can take a little touch of brown and white, and let's put just the indication of a little highlight on this tree. Want him to, a little light striking down here at his foots, and maybe back in here, so, just to make those shine a little bit. Maybe right here. Ooh, there's a nice little bright one. He lives right along the edge. See there? And you can take the point of the knife, scrape in a few little sticks, twigs, and you've got one fantastic painting done. I certainly hope you enjoyed this. A little different. It'll really give you a lot of experience. From all of us here, happy painting, and God bless.